there was some good stuff in there, like how his whole approach, the reason why he's doing it, and his whole research. That's cool. But where's the sauce?
Do you know what's mad about
There is
that?
no sauce in this thing, bro.
We are live.
We are live.
We are live.
Did I say welcome to the main event?
Run that thing back, bro. You mad?
Oh, man.
Behave before you talk about what I'm talking about, yeah?
Disclaimer! Run that thing back. Nah, man, stay there in your corner, man. Run that thing back, fam. I don't want to hear nothing from you. We are live, guys. I'm Joe, one third of the Cyber Nerds.
And I'm Raven, your GS.
I'm Sam, Mr. Blitztech, and today we have got the Old Guard spoiler review. If you haven't already, we're in a goal to 333 Patreons. Go over to patreon.com/the Cyber Nerds. And the reason why we're reviewing this movie today, because of them, man.
It's low-key like a descendant of a Patreon requested thing.
There you go.
Get me?
It's like a full circle thing.
Yeah. But you know what, yeah? You already said spoiler thing.
I did indeed.
Nobody dies because they can't die. Even when they should die.
Yeah.
And that's where, okay, let me start off at least the good stuff, like, on this movie, because...
You said the good stuff.
So
So you didn't like it?
Not really, no.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't like it either?
I just got that feeling about it as well. Like the thing I didn't like about it was the story.
I must have been in a good emotional state.
You
when I
must
watched
Must
it,
have
man.
been, boy.
You must have a good stream or something.
Because
Bro.
obviously it was
saying?
really nice, yeah, that happened to you. Because only two things I liked about this movie: the story and some parts of the action. Some parts, because some of it is still a bit, yeah. But like the story, I like the story how that these guys are immortal to go through time, and eventually you do find out that they are like. Obviously, he felt that they don't really have an impact on the world, but then you do eventually find out that they have to impact in the world, and like even then, it's not really exactly.
I felt that story could have been. They could have added a bit more sauce to it.
So even when I think about it, then it's just the concept.
Like, see, because I liked how it was revealed that every action they took. 2 generations later, the society
Caught up.
like benefit from it. I like that. Do you know what I mean? But it just wasn't enough to add to that. Do you know what I'm saying? It's almost like you just relied on what these people were doing, the action and stuff, and there wasn't enough source around the whole story, around the whole world. Now, one thing that actually that makes it really, 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 really interesting is her partner from way back being caged and thrown in the action in the ocean. That, come on, guys, man, don't have to wait for the second movie. Like, what's her face?
Charlize.
Yeah,
Theron.
like her character. Between her and what's my girl, the one who got recruited, Nyla, yeah, Nyla.
Yeah.
It just shows a lot about this movie. It's just like she should have just like really like her what, because she said, oh, like, I seen this person drowning, keeps dying, fam. You could have easily tapped into like some sort of like horror whenever she goes into dreams, and it goes into like, come on, because we're talking about the deep end of the ocean. Do you know what I'm saying? It could have, like, that reveal should have been something a little bit more, like I said, added sauce, like something that you might not even get it right now. Like, why is this girl like in some sort, like, why do we go from action to horror, like in that sort of way? Because we're talking about the deep ocean. It's dark. You know what I'm saying? Like, this person keeps reviving and dying, drowning. That is peak. That is super peak, but that is one of the worst ways to die. And
keep dying as well.
Do you know what I'm saying? For centuries, bro.
Like how many years they said?
And you're just gonna give us that.
Yeah, they said that how we've been looking for.
And then she comes up at the end.
See, the thing is, yeah, I'm kind of against you on that. Like, I hear what you're saying about, bruv. When I was watching the movie, I was like, raw, she's drowning. She's waking up and drowning every 10 minutes, fam. That is for hundreds of years. That's mad, yeah? So, obviously, she's automatically the villain of the next movie. But I felt like what this movie didn't do is take real chances, yeah? Because the real chance, the real opportunity they had was Charlize Theron's character loses her immortality. Yeah. If they wanted to tie in the chick from the water, what she should have done is when she realizes I'm not immortal no more, her next mission should have been I've got to find her because I know she's alive. Do you know what I'm saying? I've got to give what's left of my life. She was talking about how her life needs a meaning.
Right.
That would have been the meaning to actually find the chick. Peep this. I'm now gonna make this movie, the ending of this movie, better and the sequel way better. The end of this movie should be Charlize Theron finding her and dying, finding her just to open a box and her be the supervillain of the next movie.
Yeah. Right.
Like the superhero that we've been following that wanted to do just their one last good act unleashes the worst immortal on the universe ever. Instead, she just pops up and she starts talking to the snitch guy who ratted out the tip. That was terrible. That was terrible.
Like you cut man loose and then suddenly like he's gonna now band with the villain or the next movie.
Because he needs someone to hang out with for 100 years. That was terrible.
Can't leave me in 100 years from now, like.
But no, see the thing is, that part I thought was alright. Because it's like, they wouldn't have human logic to a scenario like that.
Right.
Like human logic would be, you betrayed me, we're finished.
Yeah.
Because we only gonna live for 40 years. Like 40 years from now, this shit's over. I never spoke to Raven again. But for them, they're gonna know 100 years from now, there's only 3 other men I can really par with. So, bruv, 100 years, it's icy. It's icy.
Yeah.
We'll get over it.
Yeah.
I'll get over it in 100 years. And you being alone for 100 years will make you realise why you should never snitch on man again. Because, bruv, I'm who you got.
That's a whole century to...
Exactly. So that part of it, I thought, that was kind of cool. That was alright, because it's showing they've got a higher level of understanding about being immortal than that, bruv. But I just felt like just that storyline with that girl, with the villain of the next movie or whatever, could have been peppered so much more because they peppered it up in the build-up. Like, oh, they thought we was witches. They hung us. They burned us. They shot us. They drowned us. And I was like, oh, like, that's the story. That is the person who's like, humanity, there's no way I can believe in you no more after what you did to me, bro.
And this is how you peppered up. You know what it reminded me of? It's because I just watched thing the other day as well, Fight Club. And you know how Tyler's like is in charge of the cinema reel.
Yeah.
And just puts like that one second, bruv. Imagine you're fighting, and what's her name? Niall.
Yeah.
She just gets that little flip because she just woke up and drowned and you don't understand.
So stuck on that part,
bro? Because it's so peak. I think that's one of the key things that I really liked about this, and it was just like, she's gonna give me the. I was pissed off. I was like, what?
Nah, but I feel like you focus too much on that because I feel
because his name.
No, that is his name, bro.
His name.
That is
why would
gangster.
you give us that like just like that? And there is some dry plate, bruv. Like, no, do you know what I'm saying? Man, just eating potatoes, bruv. Like, no nothing, bruv.
I feel like that's for later down the line because obviously they were setting up a second movie, and I feel like for 85% of the movie they set it up subtly and enough for it to be like, all right, cool. You didn't Dawn of Justice it. Do you get what I'm saying? But I feel like what they gave us with the dynamic with their team, do you know what I'm saying? I thought was good, bruv. Even flashing back with Charlize Theron to the person who found her, Michael Ward shouted, "We saw you in there, bro." Michael Ward, I saw you in there, bro.
So that's what I'm saying.
As being the elder, I thought that was that whole mythology, that Highlander type thing.
But here's the thing.
It's gangster, bro.
We only got that from her. Why did man see them two brothers, the couple? Like
because they found
but let us see their flashback as well, fam. Like fighting because they were beefing
they
each other.
They showed the flashbacks,
bro. It's not the same, bro. It's not, bro. It's
you wanted a 5-hour movie, bro.
It's not. Come on, bro. There's ways you can pepper this up and you not make it a 5-hour movie.
They showed the ting, bro.
Nah, bro.
Listen, I thought it was alright, man. Sam, talk to me about the action, bro.
I don't like even like the action, yeah. Like, how can I put it? Like,
it was the scene that we got from the trailer, bro.
Well, the one in the church.
Nah, bro. There was two set pieces that were alright.
There is the one we saw in the trailer when it got set up, and there's the church bit when she goes ham,
and then there's the ending scene. But that's what I mean. Like, apart from that, like, they're even some of the action, even towards the end as well. That's what I think about this whole like immortal business. Like it feel like there's really real no consequences, even towards the end. Even when she lost her immortality, I thought she's still gonna survive this.
See, the thing is,
and I was mad about that. I was like, I know these guys are immortal, so whatever crap they take, alright, cool. And they never really, like, even though they felt like they knew they were taking on people who are immortal, they never really felt about ways to make sure they don't heal back. Which I thought was kind of mad. Like, they could have, I don't know, decapitated them, make sure their bodies were separate or something. They were like, these guys are going to fight, and I know they're going to be alright. That's mad. And then towards the end, where, again, like, she was like, fuck it, I'm going to go take this man on anyway. I'm like, you can die, right? But I'm like, but I know that she's not, I just knew she wasn't going to.
What's crazy was, I was
mad.
hoping towards the end that she was gonna die,
Yeah.
because she has to die, bro.
Thank you.
You lot cheat yourself by having her survive to the next movie. But obviously, they're thinking of money and, we need her to promote the next movie. No, you don't. If you want her in the next movie, what do? Flashbacks.
Yeah, of course.
Flashbacks. You bring her back. Charlize, look, you're still signing on for the second movie. Your character in real time's dead, but we're going to flashback to you, and we're going to help build the villain of the second movie off of the relationship with you in the past. That's your own movie in the movie. Come on.
And what's crazy about that as well, like, if Charlize Theron was going through X amount of years, obviously going through wars, helping people, this, that, and the other, and she's now not immortal, then doesn't that mean her friend, who's been healing herself for X amount of years through the lung damage of being in the water, isn't she now not immortal as well then?
How could she not be not immortal? No.
I think it's because it gets passed on. That's why.
Because her pass on was Nile.
No, yeah.
Okay, cool. I was about to say, because
So
then
I think that
would be a bit mad then.
That's the thing.
Okay, cool.
Wait. Hold on. Use man on some next concept. You think that once you find a new immortal, you pass your immortality onto them?
That's what she's kind of claiming towards the end.
I think that's what.
Who's claiming that?
Because at the end, she was like, when she saved her life, she goes, it's almost like I lived on long enough to see the new immortal. So, like Raven's saying, I've now lost mine, so I can now see that there's now...
Yeah, but I don't think it is that one-to-one thing that you're saying. I feel like more so, the oldest dies, do you know what I'm saying? A new one pops up because the oldest one's gonna die.
Right.
And then that's it. So, it was Charlize Theron this time, but you know what I'm saying? It could have been anyone. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I took it, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? So now the next oldest will be the villain of the next movie, but she doesn't instantly start dying as soon as they find a new one. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I took it. But bruv, what are they gonna do? How are they gonna have immortals fighting immortals, bruv?
This is what are the actual consequences? This is what I mean. There's no gravity.
I never thought about that, bruv. But not one time did I think about, are they all immortal? They're gonna survive. They're gonna be alright. Because I feel like the road they took us on humans trying to catch us, and I say us like I'm immortal now. Trying to catch them, man, and dissect them, man. I thought that concept was sick, bruv.
I thought that was good as well.
Yeah, just them, man, saying, we'll just have you here locked up for 100 years, experiment on you forever.
Yeah.
Bruv, to me, that was a big enough stake, bro. Like, imagine, you're just a living petri dish, fam. Healing back. That was mad, bruv. I thought I was sick. Villain was terrible, though.
That's what I say. It's the villain that, for me, had no weight to it.
The slow burning. One thing about Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, bruv. It was, bruv. That thing was like, bruv. Every time, bruv, it was slow, bro.
Is he a comedian?
It was
I don't know
slow,
what he is,
bro.
but I was like, I'm not afraid of this guy.
No, in real life, is he a comedian?
I really don't know.
Like, even when he stabbed man bare times, I was like, bro, you're acting so hard right now. Like, we see through you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, he's wearing the Jesse Eisenberg suit from Batman vs Superman.
With the trainers.
Yeah. It is that character stolen and done terribly. Like, Eisenberg didn't even do it great. He's doing it way worse.
Wow.
This is why I feel like the stakes weren't there, because even him saying all that, I'm like, okay, now he's winning for power and money. I'm like, all right.
No, but
so when this healing thing is to be either used for healing people like
Ejiofor's wife.
Yeah, I thought like him alone. Every time he was in the scene, I was like, we need more of you in the movie, because I'm feeling what you're going through.
Yeah,
but everyone else, I'm like, I don't really care for you. Villain's dead. Even the man saying, like, oh yeah, I want these guys so I could get some money and I could get like powers. And I'm like, all right. And then that was just flat, super flat for
Bruv,
me.
man was in and out of this movie, bro. And out of this movie.
Who? Ejiofor?
Like,
Oh, you're just talking about you.
Just the whole movie, bro. Like,
Because you cared about no one, right?
yeah, bro. It's just like, oh, all right, this is peak, this is good, but then slow burn, slow burn. Oh my God, what we doing here? Jump back into action. Something good happens. Like, fam. Like even Chiwetel's character. There was some good stuff in there, like how his whole approach, the reason why he's doing it, and his whole research. That's cool. But where's the sauce?
Do you know what's mad about
There's
that?
no sauce in this thing, bro.
The maddest thing about Chiwetel's Ejiofor's characters, yeah, if it was anyone else, that whole character would have been dead, bro.
Yeah.
Would have been dead. Because, bro, I'm watching and I'm like, bro, oh, you're a bad guy. Oh, they're trying to turn you into a good guy at the end and make me feel something for you. And all I knew is, bro, if you was anyone, like, if the actor was not as good as high level as Chiwetel,
Exactly.
I would have just been like, nah, this is dead, fam. But he kind of, like, he didn't fully bring me over. Do you know what I'm saying? Because even his character's not fully brought over, like, do you know what I'm saying?
Because
his
story,
his
the whole
character
thing
is being
not that
strangled
strong,
into the
bro.
scenario. But at the same time, it's like, bruv, I would watch the next one, innit? They just need to bring me in to help, or us in to help, bruv. Because the last act, not the whole of the last act, but that's that post-credit scene, we'll call it. They flopped that whole thing. They flopped it.
Wow.
That was flopped. You can't have, bruv. Imagine she's at the bottom of the ocean, drowning over and over again. You can't skip the opening of that coffin. And brother, that one, guys, everyone visualize that coffin opening after you've been drowning for 200 years. Madness is happening instantly. No matter who opens that thing. That's why it should have been for Ron to open the thing.
The thing is,
imagine she opens it and that's the first thing she sees. The love. Like, for 100, 200 years, 300 years, I search for you. But it kills her and she dies, bruv. Or Charlize Theron gets killed by someone who's like, don't open the box. Then it reignites. Like, not even reignites, but it just doubles down on the humans are bad. They gotta go.
Everyone's gotta go, yeah.
Bruv, yeah, man. They botched it at the end, fam. Botched it.
They need to make this. They need to focus on the law a bit more to
Yeah,
give
the law
strength.
Yeah.
To give strength.
Yeah.
To this movie, innit? Like, even I was thinking, like, okay, she's at the bottom of the ocean. How can she get out? I was like, alright, cool. Like, the obviously it's iron. That's gonna rust at some point, and that's cool. But imagine how she came out way too clean, bro. Way too.
Like, nothing happened, you know.
You are mixing with metal. Like, do you know what's at the bottom of the ocean? There needs to be your skin is coming out on some next David Jones kind of flex, bro.
That's, you know, just for, and this is what I'm saying. Even if they didn't want to stick with that and they wanted to be clean,
and it's healing.
when you open, and that's what I'm saying. When you open the box, bruv, the thing that could have came out of there could have been from like the Grudge, fam. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bruv, they could have done that. And that's what I said. They messed up. Like, not having that scene's peak.
Like,
Now, but they're gonna watch this review, and then the second movie's gonna start with her getting out the box.
Bruv, imagine the little fish, the microfish that's been feeding off her flesh, bro. This is what I'm saying. You cannot skip this thing in the ocean. It's too much, bruv.
But then if the first villain in the movie is dead, they're just her character's gonna be dead as well.
I just don't.
Like obviously she said she's gonna be crazy from being at the bottom of the ocean for how many years. I'm like,
she can't be that crazy if she showed up when the guy just got banished and is like, oh, let's negotiate. What? That's not who she should be on, bro.
Like, bruv, negotiate. Like, even that word, negotiate.
Like, no.
Bruv, do you think back then where she was from there was any negotiations? There is.
But that's the thing.
What we believe and what we don't.
We don't know how long she's been out of the box though, and that's the next thing that they've messed up, bro. Because she could have been out of the box for 100 years already. We wouldn't know. It showed flashbacks of her under there, but the whole of this movie running, she could have been out. She could have been the one who hired the rich dude to catch them.
Yeah, bro.
As revenge.
That's another way you could approach
we don't know. And this is what I'm saying. They've messed it up on both fronts. Well, not that front. They can still do that. But I feel like the opening the boxes, what's in the box, was way better, fam. Anyway, man. Yeah, listen, man.
Yeah, the law's the best thing about this movie.
Definitely.
But everything else, characters, villain, heroes, immortality, you need to just brush up on that, man. It It was all just, like you said, just glanced over. Everything was glanced over. Nothing was hammered down on. Nothing was like, we're hankering down on this, and this is like our focal point. Just blah.
I enjoyed it though. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed it. The thing is, maybe it's because I just love the Highlander so much. Yeah, this is the closest thing I've seen to the Highlander in it. You get me? So bruv, I could just run away with concepts in my mind and it'll be enough, bruv. So yeah.
Anyway, guys, let us know in the comments down below what you think of this movie. Did you love it? Did you hate it? After watching this, are you gonna like watch it yourself and make your own opinion? Let us know. I'm Sam, Mr. Blitztech.
Raven the GS.
Show one further to Cyber Nerds.
And we'll see you on the next movie review.